Okay, today we're going to talk about how to create a professional shot list for film. So we'll go ahead and walk through how to build a shot list, go through each section of the shot list step by step, and help you just gain an understanding of how to use the shot list moving forward. If you haven't yet, go to templates.assemble.tv to access our template library. And if you scroll down here to the bottom of the first page, you're going to see our shot list template. You could just come into here, click use template, and get started with this for free. But if you already have an Assemble account, simply create a project, open up a folder, and then up here in the top right, go ahead and click add document. Once we're in here, we can see a number of different templates that you have access to. But to start, let's just go ahead and create a blank document in case you want to build a shot list from scratch. So this will simply open a blank document. We can come in here, add our title, and then hover down here and go ahead and add a table. And this is going to give you a fully dynamic table that you can work with. We can begin to just add columns and really build this out in any way that we want. We can add checkboxes if we want to check off shots as complete. We can add the scene, shot, etc., and just really build this out in any way. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole process of this to save time. We're going to go ahead and just jump into our template. I did want to show you how to create that from scratch if you're interested. But let's go ahead and come up here, click add again, this time add document, and we're going to choose this shot list template. And what you have here is a fully built out professional shot list template. This is a quick preview. Go ahead and click use template and we'll jump in. All right, to cover the top section here, we've got, of course, the title. Typically you could replace this. You could put your production title up here. And then every shot list typically will have the director and the DP listed up here. These are what's called widgets. You can add widgets to the top of your document. This is a basic text widget. You can edit it in any way you want. So if you want to leave it as is and just update the names, go ahead and do that. Typically, if it's a multi-day shoot, you're also going to have the day out of days, which is simply what day is this out of the total amount of days that we're shooting, as well as the shooting date for the specific shot list. Finally, never hurts to have a location. Using our widgets, you can add an interactive map. This is obviously not going to be the correct location. So come in here, edit widget, and just drop your address in for the shoot. It'll give you a map that is clickable and will give anyone that clicks it directions in Google Maps. So let's go ahead and jump into the bulk of the shot list, which is the actual table down here itself. Now, this comes in the standard page width, but if you want some more space, just hover up here to click this arrow and you can expand this out to full screen, which I think is great for this. So let's go ahead and jump through the sections of the shot list. Number one, you're going to want to just have checkboxes to mark off if things are complete. That's pretty simple. You can come in here and just check these shots off as you go. Second, you have the scene. So this relates to the script and what scene you're actually shooting within the script, and the number of that scene within the script will match here. From there, the director and DP will break down that scene into shots, understanding how they want to cover that shoot and begin to build out the shot list with that information. So you'll pretty much typically go through chronologically, shot 1, shot 2, shot 3 at first, just understanding how you're going to tell the story with the camera angles and the shot selection. Second, you have your shot size. And so anybody who understands film knows that this is basically just how wide or close up the camera is going to be positioned, or the lens, to give you what is going to appear in frame. If you click this drop down, we've actually pre-built this out with all of your standard shot sizes. So you have your extreme close up, medium shot, full shot, etc. And so you don't have to fill this out every time. You could just come and pick your shot size directly from this drop down, and it helps you just work very, very fast. Second is your framing. So within the framing, or within the frame, I should say, who and what is going to be in it. So once again, we've already built out all of your standard framing here. So you can just quickly select single shot with one person, 2 shot with 2 people, OTS, over the shoulder shot, etc. And just continue to build that out. And then lastly, here we have the movement. So is this a shot where the camera is going to be moving? Is it static? Is it panning? Is it tilting? Once again, just click here and you have all of your standard camera moves that you can pick from. So this just enables you, if you're the director or the DP, to quickly build out the shot list using this pre-built template. After that, we have a reference column, and this is the ability to upload actual images into the table, which is great if you have storyboards or any sort of reference frames that you want to add into this. Just go ahead and click add, and we'll go ahead and just grab some reference shots here, and we can begin to populate this table with actual references for the shots that we're seeking. I'm going to go ahead and just add one more. And as you can see, that just gives us that great visual right there. Other great thing is that if you're viewing this on a mobile phone or on your laptop on Shoot, you can just click these to blow these up, which is very important if you're really trying to understand how that specific shot should look. Moving on, we then have an equipment column. This is where you can list any sort of special equipment you're going to need. Maybe you're going to need a dolly, maybe a Steadicam, drone, something like that will be listed here so that everybody on set knows what the requirement's going to be. Location is the location in the script. So not the actual location that you're filming at per se, but what is the location in the story. Next, interior and exterior, whether the scene in the script calls to be filmed in the interior or exterior. And then finally, shot description. So this is where you can just give a brief, typically 1-sentence description of what is going to happen in that shot. And then rounding it out here, we have the sound column. This is going to indicate whether sound will be recorded or not. Very important, of course, for your sound team to know. So typically want to fill that out so that the sound recordist knows which shots they need to prep and record sound for. Next is the cast. And this is going to simply list the cast numbers that are typically laid out within the call sheet. So based on the cast that's going to appear in this scene, it will typically be cast number 1, cast number 4, et cetera, et cetera. After that, we have takes, and this is where you will simply mark down the takes that were recorded. Sometimes there's going to be false takes that just don't need to be referenced or recorded, and you can skip those, but this will highlight all of the usable takes that were filmed on that day. And it's pretty traditional to highlight takes that the director really likes. And so you can just simply hover text right here and then click here to choose a highlight if you want to add or remove highlights directly from those takes. Lastly, as you're planning out the shot list, you're typically going to want to try to estimate how long each shot is going to take for scheduling purposes. So you'll typically come in here, estimate how long is this shot going to take to set up, how long is it going to take to shoot, and then what is the total time that that shot's going to take, which will be extremely useful for, of course, the director and DP, but also the producers and the people that are putting together the shooting schedule. Lastly, any additional notes, whatever that may be, can go here in this section. So that rounds out the shot list. One thing to know, this is fully customizable. So if, for instance, you want to remove columns, you can delete, you can insert new columns and really update this, change the titles of columns within these drop downs so you can edit the different types within here. So you're really able to completely customize this entire document in any way that you want. Another great feature is that if you hover here and you see this little grip, we can actually drag and drop to reorder entire columns and rows. So if you're working throughout the shoot day, and especially for scheduling reasons, certain things need to be moved around, you can just very quickly drag and drop to reorganize. One last point before we move on to sharing and collaboration is that you can also add a cover image up here. I personally love to have branding on everything we do. So if you have, a film poster or some sort of imagery that represents your project, go ahead and just add that up here at the top. Adds a nice little visual touch to this shot list for your team. All right, so let's talk about collaborating with other people, whether this is the DP, the producer, anyone else on the crew that needs to see or collaborate on the shot list. First of all, if we come up here and click share, you can, of course, just invite collaborators directly to your document and to join your project. If you do this, you'll just simply enter their email address and you're essentially inviting them to join the project. They will create a login to Assemble and they will log in and be able to work with you within Assemble as a teammate. But let's say perhaps you don't want them to have to sign up for Assemble. You simply want to publish this out, whether that's to send it to a specific department or the crew or wherever that may be. Client, perhaps, simply just come up here, click share, and we're going to click share document link. What this is going to do is to create a publicly viewable version of this document on the web. You've got a bunch of options here. We can track views, we can password protect it, number of different things. And then down here, really importantly, you have the ability to share it as a presentation or not. When this is turned off, the document will be fully collaborative, meaning these people outside of your team, even though they don't have Assemble accounts, will be able to edit the document. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and create the link. You can simply type an email address in here or copy paste this. And I'm going to go ahead and jump to an incognito window. So imagine now we're somebody that's never heard of Assemble. We click this, and as you can see, it just opens up. That person didn't have to log in. They didn't have to create an account, nothing there and here. And as you can see, as an external user, I'm able to come in here and actually edit the document. So this is great. Once again, if you just want to collaborate with people, maybe put this shot list together collaboratively with people outside of the organization, and you don't necessarily want them to have to sign up for Assemble. But let's go ahead and jump back into that logged in view. If you are presenting this and you just want to send it, maybe it's a final shot list for the day, nothing's going to change, at least in terms of how you're presenting it. Go ahead and click share as presentation and update that link. And we can now see now on that external version, this has been turned into a presentation. So now it is a read only. I still, of course, have access, but I'm unable to change anything. I can't click these statuses. This is simply a read only version, which is great. Once again, if you're just kind of trying to present what's going on. But jumping back to the logged in view, let's say this is your director and DP. The great thing about Assemble is that as you update these things, it's going to update that review link in real time. So if we're coming in here, we're changing things, maybe we're shifting things around. If we jump out to that review link again, you can see all of that happen instantly. And so this is just a great way to keep everybody in the loop on the progress of the shoot, letting everyone know what shots are completed, if things are changing, and just updating everyone in real time without ever having to resend out another document. Great. So to wrap things up, the last thing to show you here is that once you've built out a shot list and maybe you've come in here and you've customized, maybe you've removed some different rows and set this up in a way that you specifically like. Once you're finished, just come up here, click and save as template. And you can save the new customized document to your personal template library within Assemble so that on all future projects, you now have that shot list template set up exactly the way you like it. All right, that wraps it up for this overview of how to create a shot list for a film project. I hope this was extremely valuable to you and good luck on your next shoot.